All right, everybody. Kicking off tonight's call, we're officially recording. This is our Monday night health huddle, and I'll announce more later, but it's our last Monday night health huddle. More information to come, but I'll hit on that a little bit later. Don't worry, there's always going to be a connection. There's going to be a place to go. We're not leaving you, but that's an exciting announcement that we have later. Tonight's call, first, welcome. If you're new or have you been here for a while, we do this every Monday night. We kick off the week being surrounded by people that are putting health as a priority, inspiring us, being around people that want to do the same is a key aspect for our health. And I'm just looking along at the chat here. It doesn't matter if you're in person or, let's see here, Alabama, Virginia, Arizona, let's see here, Wyoming, Zimbabwe. I don't think you're in Zimbabwe, Billy. I think you're probably in Idaho. Let's see here, Florida, Pennsylvania, California, Oregon, Washington. We're all over the place. And I just think it's really cool no matter where we're at, we can stop, take a moment, and kick off our week to put ourselves around people that are making health a priority. And inspirational parts of this is the fact that everyone around here is doing some incredible things with your health. Like, people would probably look around and this would be like the one story, like, oh my gosh, do you know Mike Scott? He lost over 30 pounds. It's amazing. Or have you met Shireen Fleming? Like, oh my gosh, she started this program on her birthday and she totally transformed her health. And some of the other people you'll be hearing from tonight. Or Dan, he used to be the same circumference all the way around as he is now with his traveling backpack. All those kind of cool things, and then some. But we do it every single Monday because that's what we do in this group. We strive for higher levels in our health. We find inspiration. We draw inspiration from other people, and we push ourselves to go further. Like Mike, who has lost, I forget the tally, but I'm looking at you on my screen right now. I think you're down over 120 pounds and just not stopping, moving forward. And tonight we have some cool stories to share. So without any further ado, I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see here. I got it. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. Yeah, right here. If my computer will cooperate. 1 second. There we go. All right. Well, as I kick off here, I'm going to say it again. My name is Brad Miller. I'm a health coach, certified health coach. We do this Monday call every single week, and I get to be one of the hosts of this call. So tonight's call is actually like an additional recap of our 30-day focus group. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but basically we took 30 days out to really focus on all of the aspects of creating health in our lives, how other people have done it, how the people that have come before you that maybe have been your inspiration, or maybe you didn't even know had the story that has inspired you, how they did that, and how everyone can do the same thing. So we went over some great topics. Last week was actually the recap and focusing on how you view your journey moving forward, how you take it to the next level, how you just keep on moving forward daily. And the way we want to do tonight is we kind of taught last week of how you share your story, or basically for even yourself, what your story is and how you look at it, how it kind of closes the loop on our mind and how we view ourselves, how we view our journey, and really what we're doing long term. And the other side of that is we have a actual contest that our company is doing right now. They're going to pay for 10 people to go to our health convention in July, meet Dr. Anderson, the person that came up with this program that's changed all these people's lives. And so we thought, by doing these 30 days, we're teaching you not only how to do those things, but if you share the things that have transformed with you in all the areas that we're talking about, it gives you a pretty good shot of winning. And we want to see all of you guys here with us at that convention. This is the first year they've opened it up to actual health tracks for people to share, which are pretty exciting. So Dr. A himself will be teaching on optimal health. So if you want to come, that's my plug for it. July, there's going to be an event in Dallas, Texas, and we'd love for you to join us. That's actually one of the first events I went to that inspired me to take my health to where it's at today. So without any further ado, our recap today is really, because last week we talked about how you look at your story, why it's so important, how it can change other people's lives, how it plays in your part long term, and how it closes the loop on everything we shared here. Plus, personally, I think we covered some cool things these last 30 days, but I don't think there's anything cooler than hearing how they impact other people. I mean, even just last week's call where Dawn was sharing some of the things that she accomplished during the 30 days reminded me of things that I had accomplished that I had already forgotten about. So it helps you learn at another level. So today's call is going to be sharing some stories from people and their accomplishments during this focus group or their entire health journey. And I don't think anything inspires me more than hearing those stories. So Tonight we're actually going to kick off with one of our people that I wanted to go to someone first that not only exemplifies health, but has gone through this and is now still continuing to evolve his health at another level. So I wanted to bring on Tim Giardino tonight to share a little bit about his story. Because we talked about how to share your story, how to look at it, and how to look at going forward. So Tim, I wanted to bring you on. I was actually thinking about sharing my story, but I shared a little bit of it last week, and honestly, it's not as cool as Tim. So I brought Tim on tonight to share his story. This is him and his wife, Kelly. And you can see just from his pictures here, it shows where they're at in their 40s, and it shows where they're at in their 50s. I think that's pretty cool that in your 50s, you look like you're 20 years younger. So you got 10 years older, but you look about 20 years younger. So Tim, I thought I'd invite you on tonight to share a little about your victories from the last 30 days, your health story in general, so people could see an example of this, because this is also how you would do your story to submit for that contest that we were talking about. So Tim, would you come off tonight and tell us a little bit about the studly looking guy in this photo here?
Oh, I would love to. Thanks for asking me to share, Brad. I love this. I love this program, and I love sharing my story. As you can see, in my 40s, I was a little heavier. I was always an athlete, so I always worked out and so. But at some point, kind of life gets in the way, and 5 kids, had my own business. Was just kind of busy and stressed, and just couldn't keep up with the weight thing, and that actually caused some other things too, which some cholesterol issues, and but the other thing too as well is I struggled with vertigo for 4 years, and so that was a big deal for me, especially trying to be active and having kind of multiple episodes a day really kind of cramped that for me. So it just kind of spiraled out of control a little bit. We had a video production company, and so I was asked about 5 years ago to shoot some videos. So spend a week with these health coaches that I knew nothing about, and it was really cool because the perspective from behind the camera, like nobody was talking to me, they were just kind of telling their stories, and we were interviewing coaches and clients, and just hearing these amazing stories of this health transformation and life change and all this stuff, and I wanted it. I was so intrigued. I called my wife at the end of the first day of shooting and said, I'm not sure exactly what this is, but I can't wait to try it. So I did. I signed up, while I was out there on the shoot. When I got home, my program was waiting for me, and I jumped right on program. I lost 55 pounds pretty quickly, about 10 weeks. And but the real aha moment for me was, my vertigo cleared up in the first month, and I felt myself getting healthier and, just more vibrant, more energy and stuff. And so it really kind of changed everything, and so, naturally people were asking me kind of what I was doing, and I just kind of started paying it forward because I was, just kind of fell in love with sharing it and helping other people to feel this way. So that's kind of how I got started. And now I actually, I don't exercise for weight loss any longer. I exercise because I enjoy it. I love working out and doing races, and so that's been a real passion for me. And so in my 50s, I'm a lot healthier than I was even 15 years ago. So I just enjoy that. In this past 30 days, it's really fun to have these times where we can really just kind of focus and refocus in on our goals of that, habits of health. Even, just being in this community makes me better, makes me more focused. So I love that, love the community. And, that's kind of it. I'm looking forward to just continuing to always work on my healthy journey, and hopefully inspiring others too, because this is a great way to live, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I love that, Tim. And I mean, your story says so much there. And I do remember, I remember meeting you as the behind the camera, and it was funny though, because I didn't know how to talk into the camera, so you had to keep reminding me, because I was one of the people that talked on one of those videos. So it's been cool to see your transformation in here. And I wanted to start with you because not only does it show you like someone's story, like we talked about that last week and how you approach your story. And I love the different things that you actually weaved into your story. Like you had made a statement in there. I don't exercise for weight loss anymore. You exercise for health. You have made the decision to become healthy. You subscribe to this community and being around people that lift you up in your health. Like you can see, so there's a few different things that we're doing here tonight, which is one, I mean, your story just inspires me, like it pumps me up to want to like be at my best every day. It's inspiring, but you can see how your story, you made a connection in your brain that you're not going backwards. I mean, and to that example, Tim, you know, when did you lost your weight? How many years ago? Like when did you officially hit your first weight loss, like your weight loss goal?
Yeah, it was about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
That I lost my weight, and I'm literally within just a couple pounds of that right now. It's so easy, it's so simple, you know, with the feelings and the shift, the way I look at things differently, and I fuel my body now. I don't just eat, and so it's a whole different way of doing it, and it's so simple. I just you know, like I said, I'm not going back, going forward all the time.
I love it. And the chat's blowing up with people cheering you on, which is another benefit. It's kind of how everything clicks here. Before I go to our next couple stories tonight, and I wish I could have just done like a whole long call of everyone sharing. But I would ask you tonight, as someone that is, you know, you said like what you were sharing there is pretty powerful. You lost your weight. Like you already accomplished what a lot of people are in process of accomplishing for their first time. And they definitely want to be you 4.5 years later when they hit that goal. What was your pivotal changing point for you? Like, I think there's so much that we can learn from people. We're all on this journey. We're all more alike than we are different, even though we have our own individual stories. But for you, what was your pivotal changing point? Or just pick one, maybe if there was multiple for you that really helped you click along the way, like that helped you make this a lifestyle change.
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I think the realization for me was, you know, prior to this program, I was always losing weight and then gaining weight, losing weight and gaining weight. So I was always training and working hard to lose weight. And so it's kind of like running on a treadmill. You're really going nowhere. And the older I got, the faster I had to run to stay in the same place. And so now I literally get healthier and I'm in better shape, better condition all the time. I just keep adding to it instead of always kind of, like I said, just kind of treading water, staying in the same place.
Yeah, that's a pretty big pivotal point there, so that you're not doing this to try to lose weight anymore. You're doing it because it's your routine, your healthy lifestyle. So I love it. You literally, you know, you exemplify everything that we cover during these 30 days. So congratulations. Thank you for sharing tonight. I think your story definitely resonated with a few people here.
Thanks, Brian.
All righty. Which actually helps us move on to some people because of Tim's and Kelly's decision in their health, which I think is one of the coolest things here. So I'm here. I changed my health. You know, I wasn't going to share my full story tonight. I've kind of shared bits and pieces through this process, but I'm here because my family made a decision after watching one of their family friends. And I think that's one of the coolest things, that we draw inspiration from real stories. I think that's one of the coolest things about how this component works. And so I'm here because my family made a decision to get healthy. If they wouldn't have done that, then I wouldn't be here probably. I'd probably be further down the road of where I started at in my early 20s. So because of Tim and Kelly's decision, you know, ultimately rippled out to Lars and Kim. So Lars and Kim are going to come on and share tonight a little bit about their recent success and maybe some things that have shifted for them through this focus group, and really kind of tying together what their story of their health is. So Lars and Kim, are you guys there this evening?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we are. So I guess last year we had decided we were both at a really bad spot in our lives. We were the heaviest we've ever been, the least amount of energy. We just didn't feel good all around. We weren't setting good, healthy examples for our children. So we knew at the beginning of the year we had to change. We had to change something. We just didn't know what. So exploring all those options, we've tried a lot, just about everything that was out there. Never really had much success, and nothing was sustainable. We didn't have any sort of plan or anything to kind of rely on to help us through those difficult moments, or when you just get frustrated or lose hope. And so then we met a couple at church and started talking to them. They told us about the program. And what clicked for us immediately was how easy it was. And it just was something that was going to fit in our life, our schedules, something that we thought we could do and see the future in this program.
I mean, the big part too is for us was the healthy community as Take Shape for Life offers. It's not on your own journey. You actually have people around you to support you. And, Tim and Kelly's been phenomenal towards us. They've been there from day one. Michelle and Bob is our initial coaches, also been there, but the community of 4 coaches rather than 2 has just been amazing to us, and they've always been there for us. We took a journey to Disney World, one of our favorite places to go to. And the biggest realization we had from Disney World is how much we plan our vacation around eating. We had to go here to eat, go there to eat, and everything else came around that. And that was a big, big aha moment for us when we were up there. Like, wow, everything surrounds around food. And with some simple, challenging questions from Tim and Kelly, we went through a whole week of on plan, stayed on plan, and eat our, lean greens and our bars. And that was eye-opening how much more we experienced Disney World than just food. That was a big aha for us. So it's it's been amazing for us since then. And now, like I said, the result speaks for himself. 44 pounds, right? Yeah, and 54 pounds. I mean, hey, it's been less than 3 months, and it's amazing, just amazing.
And not just the weight loss, but the ripple effect. Our kids are still small, but they're young enough where they're starting to learn those habits, and what they see, they do. And so it's grabbing the fruits or the vegetables instead of the candy bars and the chips, which we don't have in the house much anymore, but they're not asking for them either. So seeing them kind of shift in those habits has been phenomenal to me, as well as the mental clarity that I got. I didn't realize that I was living my life in a fog. It was just everything was clouded, your judgment, and it was like, I think it was week 2. I was just like, I don't know what has happened, but everything seems brighter and I can think and I'm quick. And, it was just that has been an amazing part as well.
That's amazing, you guys. I mean, you can look at the photo here and you can see the difference. And I believe, Lars, you just hit your initial weight loss goal. I know that's only one aspect of it, but you hit your weight loss goal, true?
Yeah, I did.
I love it. Well, that's an incredible story, you guys. And I love a lot of things you talked about. One, you talked about a plan. You talked about support. You talked about changing your way you do things, the way you build your lifestyle. You covered a lot of things that we covered these last 30 days that really make the difference. You didn't just talk about, I lost all this weight, although that is part of it. What would you say to someone on the line that's watching this and oh my gosh, I want to be like Lars and Kim. That's so amazing. Or if you could go back and talk to your past selves, what would you say is your pivotal shift in this? Because we talked about all these different topics this last month that really make the difference. And you really embodied all of them into your story, your short story just there. But what would be your tip to someone asking for your previous selves before you started plan?
For my previous self would be don't wait. Kind of a tagline that I picked up somewhere. And, now it's something that I remind myself every day. It's progress, not perfection. There's never going to be a perfect moment. There's never going to be a perfect day. You just have to go for it, do the best you can, and, rinse and repeat. I've heard from Tim and Kelly a lot. Things that go well, you just rinse and repeat and do it again. If not, it's a wash and you do it over.
Yeah. And there's the thing too that I really, for me, is get connected. Don't do this on yourself. Don't do it on your own. You have your health coach. Lean on them. Be demanding of them. Ask of them what they're there for, which is to support you. So that's basically lean into your coaches. They're there for you.
That's a good question. I didn't really think about talking about that tonight because we didn't really cover that in depth on this. But what would you say are some things how did you lean into your coaches where it made a difference for you? Obviously you did well. Obviously you've made a lot of changes for yourselves and for your family and all these different aspects. But what are some things that were key for you as far as leaning into support?
I mean, one of the big thing for me is just I'm stubborn. I'm Scandinavian. I'm Swedish. And I'm just being a stubborn person. So I was going to do this on my own. And I stumbled on my own feet. And I struggled at the beginning to figure out what to do until I finally said, you know what, I need help. So I reached out to I don't understand. I need to support this because my food is very dry and boring. So I just reached out, got clarity, and boom, here we are.
And another thing with eating out, like I think our first time we were you kind of know and you have the guide to go through, but then it's like it doesn't have everything. And so we had went to Buffalo Wild Wings and we're like, what sauce can we have? And so it was like just to have that instant, hey, here's what you can do. And it was like everything, if it's on the salty side, just have extra water, so it was just having that where in those, seconds that kind of matter. And you need an answer quickly. Somebody's always there.
That's awesome. So between the support group, besides being plugged in, besides connecting with your coaches, besides leaning on each other, that's a different type of support you lean into. So I love it. I love the example. Sometimes people hear it and they're like, oh yeah, lean into support. But like, what does that mean? And what are the different examples of it? Because it does, like you guys said, it made a difference for you in your journey. It might be small at first, but it's like a ripple effect. It makes bigger waves as you go through the process. So thanks for sharing tonight, guys. Total inspiration. And Lars, congrats on hitting your goal, man. But just getting started.
Thank you.
All righty. That is definitely some good stories right there. Like, I love that because you can come here and feel inspired. Kind of like what Ashley was talking about during our Ignite portion was hopefully you guys, like just in the continual practice of this, that you're not comparing. Everyone's journey is a little bit different. Hopefully you're just drawing inspiration and adding different pieces of this in here, which I'm pretty excited about because everyone's story is a little bit different. I'm excited because I've had a little bit of wind of what Sunny's story is. And Sunny's going to share tonight a little bit about what's changed for her in this picture right here. So Sunny, are you here tonight to share a little bit about your story and what's changed in your health since we started?
Yes. So I have been in this journey since February, the middle of February. And
one second, Sunny. Should have checked your audio. I'm gonna mute you real quick and then unmute. Does everyone else sound a little off?
Hello.
Hold on one second. Mute you and then back. Is it better now?
Hello.
Much better.
Can you hear me now? Okay. So I've been on this journey since February 18th, and kind of where I was at, I was in a place where I was extremely exhausted, depressed, lethargic. I'm a super relational person, but I found myself completely isolated and just really wanting to teach and kind of do nothing for quite a season. I had walked through some grief, and I kind of sat in this kind of dark cloud over myself for about 2 years. And that just kind of led to really poor eating habits. And kind of one place that I was at, I'm in ministry. And so what I've always been really good at is caring for others. But what I've learned is actually really lousy at caring for myself. And so my friend Mike, who you referenced earlier, who has lost over 100 pounds, he looks phenomenal. I was watching his journey on Facebook and was just really inspired, just by the weight loss. But also this positive attitude that I saw coming off of his Facebook page, and just seeing like, wow, this is a whole different Mike than I have ever seen before. So I kind of became inspired. But I really was so tired of, yes, the weight was one thing, but really just so tired of all this undiagnosed health stuff that I was going through, this fog that I was in, that I decided to get brave and reach out. And I'll never forget, Mike posted on his Facebook page this little quote that said, "Without change, nothing changes." And that was the moment that I went, oh my goodness, nothing's going to change here until I take a step. I'm really good at wishing change into existence and like dreaming up the change. And then I'm like, maybe I need to be the change. So anyways, I joined, Mike helped me join in February, and the program I have found is really easy. Even with my life that I've always said was too busy for something like this, it has just been really easy. I have lost 20 pounds, and that's super exciting. But more than the weight loss, I think my biggest aha moment happened a couple of weeks ago. I hit the point where I had a week that I didn't lose any weight, and I couldn't figure it out because I was the habits and doing everything that I knew, and the scale didn't move. And so I reported to the coaching team and just said, hey, I had no weight loss this week. And I immediately went to, it must have this, or this. I'm really good at, I'm not doing well. And Mike, my coach, just challenged me and said, okay, I want you to flip that for just a second, Sonny. And I want you to tell me where you're winning. And I could not respond to him in that moment. I have no idea where I'm winning. I'm not doing anything right. And that's kind of my typical headspace. I go into discouragement mode, and then I just start beating myself up. And discouragement sometimes has led me to quit things like this in the past. Like, I'm not going to be good enough. So anyways, I decided, since without change, nothing changes, that I needed to get to the root of why I always go to that place of, I'm not winning anywhere, woe is me, just kind of this victim mindset. And I just uncovered this, like, my biggest fear was that I was going to disappoint my coaches, that the people who were taking time to pour into my life, that I was going to disappoint them because the scale didn't move. So I thought, I will help them not feel disappointed in me if I just report all of the places that I can get better next week. And then I thought, why do I live like everybody in my life is going to be disappointed in me? And that was the uncovering of this aha moment, that it's a fear of rejection. So why am I talking about a fear of rejection in a health group? Well, this is where that healthy mindset has come in for me. Yes, my body feels better. Yes, I'm out of that fog. But oh my goodness, I am uncovering this root belief that I have, waiting for people to reject me in life. And for some reason, that has helped me to begin to focus on my wins, to stop living in fear of rejection. And that's not just something that changed overnight. That's something I'm still very much actively working on. But it was a huge moment for me. And I'm working on not being so hard on myself. And my coach is really good at trying to get me to focus on what's going well and where I'm winning. So that's kind of me.
That's very you, Sonny. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how I came up with the order tonight, but I'm really glad you went last. You really literally embodied everything that we've talked about during these 30 days. Like, we talk about healthy body, like you said, that's a given. That can change. Healthy mind and healthy finances, those are the three areas that kind of ripple in and they kind of blanket out. And a lot of people don't know how do you keep moving forward? How do you engage in this? How do you have changes outside of just seeing the scale? And I mean, I want to talk about so many things you shared there, but that literally gives a great depiction of where you focus on progress over perfection, why you focus on wins and what you're doing well versus what you're not doing well. Like, you can see that was your mental change. And I know there's so much there just behind that story of just what you just shared just there. So, I want to talk about so many things there, but I mean, you uncovered your fear of rejection. I'm just reading down some notes I wrote down there, but all through the process, starting a plan where you have support and you're engaging and moving forward. Your fog's gone, you found all this. So I guess what I would ask you is I mean, you shared the pivotal time where Mike asked you that question, but what would you say was another pivotal point for you in this process where you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is becoming more than just weight loss for me? Like, what are some of the things? Well, I guess another way to ask this is, if someone's looking at you and like, I want that shift that Sonny's had, how would you share that with your past self, how to get more of that, or share with someone that's like, I want some of that shift in this, in my journey? What would you share with them?
Gosh. There's so many things. I think that the biggest thing is if I look at myself, I lived so discouraged all the time, just discouraged that's what would kind of take me out of the game in a lot of areas in my life. And so if I would look back to myself just a few weeks ago, it's 9 weeks ago, it would be, I would say to myself, Sonny, it's so important to be in a community where you can stay encouraged. That's what I've leaned on my coach for. But that's what these calls have been for me is finding people who are in it with me and who they're not, I've seen people on this journey just telling the truth of their story, of their struggles, but also their wins. And that has helped me stay encouraged so that I don't get sidelined because of my own discouragement. So I think that's the biggest thing. of what's helped change my mind.
Awesome, Sunny. I want to say congratulations. Congratulations on the discovery, your healthy mind, your fog being gone. And I mean, yeah, the 20 pounds too, but more that you've created a lifestyle and you have that support. So congratulations and thanks for sharing that tonight. I know that spoke to a bunch of people. I see the chat lighten up from just all the things you shared there. So congratulations.
Thanks.
And I love that. I think that's a great place to go as we finish up here tonight is, you know, if you learned anything from this, I'm sure you've learned a ton. But it's that you'll learn the most about yourself in the toughest moments. And the fact that you will get to where you want to go if you just don't give up. Like that's literally probably one of my biggest things that I'd probably share with you if I was to share my story is like I learned the most where I learned not to give up. And not to focus on what's going wrong, but to focus on what's going better, progress over perfection, and to just keep going because just moving past that frustrating point is where your aha is and what the shift is. Because if you have a tough moment, it's probably leading you to something, a habit, something in your life that you need to break through. So, Sunny, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing that tonight. So good. So as we wrap up here tonight, I just want to thank everyone. And again, just the example of being around these stories. I know looking at the chat lighting up is you can learn so much by being around other people like this. And that really takes us to what we covered tonight, which was you can see the shift in everyone that shared tonight's their story. They've all made a mental commitment to their health. They're not just trying to lose some weight. They're literally engaging in a whole process. And you can see that there's an aspect in that you're not going back and you're going to keep moving forward in that. So, you know, we covered some things in sharing your story, and that involves, you know, where you were before, how you chose to get started, what's shifted in your journey, what are some of those pivotal points, and where you're going moving forward, and using all of the aspects that we're talking about when we're not just talking about weight loss. And so this is a great example of what you could do for your video submission. So one, we learned a lot during these 30 days. I want to thank everyone that contributed to that, all your guys' victories. But we really set the stage for you to submit your own video for the contest that our company's doing. Because we want to see you at our health convention. We want you to meet Dr. A because he's just as amazing in person as he is in his book or different things you might have seen in him. So if you do your video, by the way, just opened up. You can submit your video now or all the way till June 16th. You can be one of those top people that win. They're giving away 10 all expense paid trips to our convention. And if you want to make a video sharing just some of those things that you guys all have your amazing story. I guess this is another thing that you could take away from tonight. I hear all the time, like, oh my gosh, I'm not like Lars and Kimberly. I'm not that amazing. I wish I was as cool as them. Or, oh, I wish I was like Sunny. I wish I was cool like Tim. And I wish I was younger in my 50s. You all have your own story. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're at. You all have your own story. And if you share your story like that, that's the kind of things that will help you win this. So submit your video, connect with your coach. There's a link that we will be posting or you can get from your coach. It'll literally follow through how to submit your video. And then amongst all of us, the top 50 videos will be voted on. So literally we can use our community to vote on these stories that we know that we've helped create with each other. So trips in July, Gaylord, Texas. It's a lot of fun. We want to see you there. So that's what to be doing now and how you can kind of cap off this last little bit. You can do it right now or anytime between now and June 16th. So I want to check the chat to make sure no one has any questions on that. Let's see here. Nope, just a lot of people saying how good Sunny was. She was pretty good. That was amazing. So that's what to be doing with this and how to create your story. So the other thing that we wanted to cover tonight was we're making an announcement here. So this is our last Monday Health Huddle, and that's for a few different reasons. For those that are new or that have been with us this last little bit, we've had a Habits of Health call every Wednesday for the last decade, but we've also had archaic technology where we were doing it via conference call. And when Zoom technology came out and being able to see people's faces, Ashley and I started this with a bunch of our coaches that we work with to kind of get a closer community going. And so now the Habits of Health call has evolved into Zoom. So they do it Wednesdays at 5:30. So it's the same time, just on Wednesday. And what they've been doing is they cover a lot of the same things we cover, and they've actually asked us to start hosting that. So we're going to be doing about half of the calls. This week actually is going to be Dawn and I hosting this call. But you will notice that this was one of the last calls from a few weeks ago. Shirley Mast, she's actually a very cool lady. She's lost over 200 pounds, and she was talking about the habit of water. So now we get to do this already, but we get to do it with thousands of other people on this. So it's kind of very cool because we've been doing this call, this Monday night Health Huddle, for about, I think it's been, Tim, you're on my screen right now. It's been a little bit over 2 years that we've been doing this since Zoom conferencing came out. But now it just makes sense to do it with even larger people. So many people have talked about the community, so we want to do it with the rest of our Take Shape for Life Optavia community. So starting this week, you can join in. Some of you already join into both of these huddles each week, so that you can join in this Wednesday at 5:30. We're going to be talking about your supporting cast. Don and I will be hosting with some co-hosts from this group. So it's going to be the same band, just a larger format, more people sharing from all over the United States. So that is the big announcement, and this is our, I'm sure we'll still have additional calls. We'll have another focus group, so watch out for that in about a month. We want to hear what topics you guys want to learn more about, like the shift, Sonny, that you had, or Lars and Kim, or Tim, the continual changes you've had in your health. We want to know what you guys want to learn more about, because we'll do another focus group in this fashion. But that is the information on moving forward. So Wednesday nights will be the day. So we'll see you guys there. Look forward to hearing more of your takeaways each week. I'm going to check the chat real quick to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, Don's excited. Don, you'll be there with me hosting on Wednesday, so that's going to be amazing. So with that being said, that is a wrap on our – oops, one second. Yep, there we go. On our Ignite Focus Group. So I want to thank everyone who shared. Thank you guys who shared your story tonight. Definitely inspired. And hopefully you guys take some time tonight to just focus on where you're going next and also what changed. It's so easy to forget what's changed. I'm looking at you, Lars and Kim. I'm looking at you, Tim. I'm looking at Sonny. I'm looking at everyone on the screen right. It's so easy to forget what's changed in this last little bit. Stay focused, stay moving forward. Keep embedding the things that are changing your health into your routine to make it a part of your life, and keep making that progress over the perfection. So with that being said, have a great week, everyone. And I want to thank everyone in the chat that shared all these things and all that shared everybody on. So with that being said, have a great week, everybody.
Hey, thanks, Brad. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Tim. That was awesome. Tonight.
Thank you, guys. That was awesome.
And we'll see you all Wednesday night, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. I forgot to mention that. Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you guys. Not for you Florida people over there. It's 8:30 your time. See you guys on Wednesday.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.